What's up, guys? Rising Duelist. This is Jay here with my boy Chillfish.
Well, what?
And
I don't know. I felt it, man. Don't be hating on my feeling. I'm feeling the flow.
I cannot hate on you.
Feel the rhythm, feel the ride. Come on now. It's Yu-Gi-Oh time.
Your hype is just too much. Your hype is too much.
You know what? Sometimes hype is a good thing, and sometimes it's not.
And speaking of which, we're going to be talking about deck because I just had all the hype and just didn't.
We've all fallen victim to this. Either a deck that came... We're not even talking about decks that we thought were hyping to get off the ban list. We've all fallen victim to that a long time ago. These are decks that were hyped up, whether it be new meta or even just fun cards, and just this is going to be great and fun and exciting, and then...
Yeah, so the first thing that I want to talk about is World Chalice.
Yes.
World Chalice, when it came out, this is Code of the Duelist. It was like the first Link monsters that were coming out, with the exception of Decode, Link Spider, and Honeybot. These are like the first ones that were coming out, and hype for the Firewall, the World Chalice, the extra linking. It just came out.
The co-link was like the big thing. Like,
yeah,
and it is still, but like this was like the deck to co-link with. Like,
yeah, and then people were like, at the time, there was no Kyoto Gamma Seal thing going on. It was just
weren't aware of that. You know, we didn't have people weren't even like doing Brilliant Fusion stuff yet either, or like double summon shenanigans to get things going. This was just this deck is gonna be good. People, the reason why I think this deck had a lot of hype is because of Performer Palettes. Actually, this was a classic deck that didn't get anything, and then out of nowhere it spiked up and became popular. So people were thinking, hey, this is the next protagonist deck. This could be the next thing. And it was a new format, new protocol. People were expecting this, and then
it just fell flat.
And even when the cards were released in their structure deck, everyone thought, oh, well, when the next Link structure deck comes out, it'll be good, and we'll get more Link monsters. And here we are, all playing Nightmares, not, World. And then one day when World Chalice topped one event, we were all like, what the heck? Like, who are you playing against? Like, you're playing against like Laval decks or something like that in order to get that high?
I mean, it's just like World Chalice has a really good win condition. Now they do, but at the time they were just hyped up because of their extra linking maneuvers. But after that, like, realized that it will fall subject to pretty much any hand trap. The only thing that they can literally do is extra link, like, on their own. So it just kind of fell out of favor. Eventually, people were found different ways to incorporate the World Chalice deck in successful ways.
And this is a deck I know I personally fell victim to the hype train and wanted to get on there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about a deck that Jay fell for the hype train on this one. Y'all, I don't know if you guys even remember this deck. I know Magical Musketeers. Everybody remember this like being the most hyped up, and Jay did a phenomenal video for the record. Look through our channel about what to run in Magical Musketeers. This was going to be amazing.
Hey, to be fair, I did say in the video that the deck's kind of trash. I did say it,
and he was right.
To play Yu-Gi-Oh the way it's supposed to be, which is 1-for-1 card advantages, and it's the best at what it does. The thing is that once it falls subject to like the multiple negates, breaking boards, it cannot go second. It loses to a Ghost Ogre on the first summon unless it's Starfire. It has all these downfalls where it's very, very easy to counter. Like, it's good for the one-on-one advantages because it
had
plus
a great concept though. Like, honestly, the idea of like playing with columns being. Who remembers columns?
Like way back when.
But even like now, like people are still kind of trying to keep column play in the thing, and I don't think it's going to. But that was the coolest thing where you would have your spells and traps, all quick plays, and it was like, the concept was really cool, like shooting back and forth, but it just, in the grand scheme of Yu-Gi-Oh, it just doesn't keep up and everything, and that, I don't know, that bums me out, to be completely honest. The Magical Musketeers, they kind of needed each other, and
Mech Knights as well, yeah.
Mech Knights is another kind of deck that had a lot of hype, and they still can kind of be going, and we talked about this in our Rogue deck, and they still pop up here and there, but they need the Invoked to really get things going, and they need other plays, they need other engines to get going. Rockets is another deck that I remember going to locals right before Lynx, and this was like another thing to rival World Chalice, like, hey, this is the Rivals deck, and it's going to be great, and blow things up, and Borreload. Borreload's amazing.
Yeah, Borreload is absolutely phenomenal, and people will look at, because of Borreload, of how awesome it is. Now, given Borreload is awesome, but it's just the deck itself sucks.
I think that if Borreload wasn't generic, it wouldn't be as important as it was, or Rockets would have had a little bit more of a play. Because it is generic, everyone pulled it away, and we're going to play this in a better deck.
Yeah.
The fact that some of these decks get the flop hype because they think it's really good, and they realize their big boss monster or key cards actually work better in other decks.
And just like everything in the Rockets does, it's very easily countered, it's very fragile, and the boards are just not that great. You literally end with multiple board loads, which just can be added with like a Raigeki.
A lot of these decks that fall flat is just because on paper they sound great, and then when you actually do the application to it, they just fall short. Whether it is because of consistency, whether it's because of playstyle, or even just kind of mechanic, or even their gimmick, their win condition could be, wow, that's amazing. And then you realize how much steps you have to get there, how many cards you need to get a basic board established, and you're like, never mind, fam.
Yeah. Another one that was just really hyped out is a deck that we had for a while that was really originally just YCS Pride cards, which is the Dark Lords. Decks came out just YCS Pride Lord, I believe it was like 4 of them, and then we eventually got new support for them.
They got like a couple of the reprints, but they weren't ever like an established archetype. And then when Destiny Soldiers dropped, the Dark Lords were getting these cards and this archetype, and they're still a really good deck if you don't know how to stop against them.
Yeah, but there were just massive advantage cards. Just draw for days, and you know Yu-Gi-Oh! How much we love our drawing. So people saw that and just absolutely fell in love with it, and they mix it up with a bunch of other things, like say Monarchs, for example, something that needs a better draw engine. All these things together just to put in the Floodgates, and on Vanities, and on Christia, since they're all fairies as well.
And then you could even go with some Chaos stuff, because Christia's a light and the rest are dark, so...
A lot of different things that you were able to do there, but it was just very easy to stop, loses to Droll, loses to several other things as well, and it was just really unfortunate, and the hype was there, and it kind of fell flat there.
I think the last deck that I at least can think of, this is a really old deck, and this even got a lot of new hype when a new card got released for it, Noble Knights. Just Noble Knights had a ton of hype when they were being printed out, when they were that special collector's edition box and everything.
Yep.
And obviously that was so long ago that we can see kind of how it wasn't going to go well. You know, the cards advantage, the too many combo pieces. Like, it was a combo deck that had too many combos to go through. But then Isolde popped up and we thought, this is going to be great, it's going to help the deck. And no one's playing it in Noble Knights at all. They're playing it in Goki or other decks. Even you know, the new version of Dark, you know, Dad deck coming up in here and there. And it's another classic example of we're getting a new card that's going to help this deck out, but then you realize it's better in almost every other deck than its original host deck, so to speak. What do you guys think? Comment down below. What are some other decks or even cards that you thought this is going to be great, it's going to be busted, it's going to be broken, or it's going to bring back this deck to life that just fell flat? Like, we just fell flat on our face and everything. Is there anything else you can think of, Jay, before we sign off?
Nightmares fell flat. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that is the one deck that we didn't know was going to happen, or I don't know. I didn't know what was going to happen with that deck, and it came up. That's the thing, too, is that this is kind of examples of failed hype. We've all done this before. We've all fallen flat, but what do you guys think? Comment below, subscribe. Let us know what other decks you're thinking are decks that got that no one expected, and then they kind of boosted up from there. So this is Chillfish and Jay signing out.